So, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who have just happened across this video and don't know what it's about, this is a video where I talk about, this is a channel on YouTube where I talk about living with a disability, which should be pretty obvious. The correlating mental health issues. And also my love stroke passion for surfing. There is a link there, trust me. It does make sense somehow. Before I proceed any further, it's necessary for me to say just very quickly that I'm not a trained medical professional in any way, shape or form. I'm not a doctor, I am not a paramedic, I am not a GP or a surgeon or anything like that. Not a nurse. I'm not here to give you professional medical advice, and nothing I say can be construed as such. I'm here simply to tell you my story and share my opinions. That's all they are, just opinions. If I do say something which I know to be factual, I'll let you know and I'll cite my source. So, apologies for the late video. I don't think you all lost too much sleep over it, but I usually make these on a Sunday night. It's Tuesday now. I had a few really rough days starting over the weekend, and on this occasion, you kind of got the better of me, and I had really bad symptoms. I've still kind of got them now. I'm not moving too well. And this being a movement disorder, a neurological movement disorder, that means it has a psychiatric component as well. And it's a kind of vicious circle. So if I have an outbreak of symptoms that affects me mentally, which in turn impacts impacts the physical symptoms, the dystonia itself, which in turn impacts the mental, which impacts the physical, etc., etc. But they exacerbate each other, and it's a vicious circle, and it's kind of hard to break out of. So I kind of didn't really heed my own advice, because I do talk about breaking out of these patterns somehow, usually through planning, journaling, steps to avoid negative thoughts and so on and so forth, and what's worked for me and what hasn't. This was one of those instances where I kind of lost the battle, and it's happened before. Usually every few months something will just get the better of me, and I don't want it to be like that, but recovery from a condition like this is A, not guaranteed, and B, even if it does occur, it's very, very difficult, long-winded process with a lot of ups and downs, and it's exhausting as well. So it leaves you in a place of great uncertainty about your future, which in itself is a cause of stress, which in turn can make the dystonia worse. And steps to overcome this usually involve engaging in positive activities, exercise, reading, going for a nice walk if you're up to it, speaking to people. And I didn't really do much of any of that this weekend. Last few weeks have been really good. I've been training pretty hard because I've got my surfing holiday coming up next week. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be a lot better when I get there. I did read the other day, and I'm not 100% certain on this, so don't quote me. Like I said, not a trained medical professional. But I did read that being by the sea and in the presence of the sea is actually proven to be good for people's mental health. That's probably why I crave it so much. And I know what I'm going to do when I'm going to get there. I'm going to unpack my bags. I'm going to walk straight down the road, 500 metres. I've measured it, it's 500 metres. To my favourite cafe, which is right at the end of the road and looks out over the beach. And I'm going to go and sit down, and they know me now. And they're going to bring me a cappuccino and a muffin. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch the sunset. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And maybe that's why I've kind of had a bit of a... Maybe that's why I've succumbed a bit this weekend. Maybe I'm just getting impatient. I want to get things done. Also, last week I had some problems at work. Not major problems, nothing that I need to talk about. And I'd rather not talk too much about work anyway. I'd try and separate it if I can. I have a good employer. By and by, 90% of the time they're absolutely spot on. Every now and then things will happen. There will be a blip. It's natural. So maybe that set me off. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. But yeah, I've had a few days of basically just being either lying on the couch here with a blanket or in my bed under my duvet, reading, watching movies, getting up to eat, keeping on top of my hygiene at least. You know, I'm in showering. I'm not sat here smelling disgusting or anything. These are all fresh, clean clothes, freshly laundered, even if it is cheap. I never turn down a free t-shirt. My inner northerner won't allow me to. So yeah, reflecting on the past few days. What does it mean? Sorry, I'm muscular. My chair's a bit squeaky. What does it mean? I'm going to make a sort of slightly dramatic allegory. There's such a thing as asymmetric warfare, and that's a war where there are two different outcomes for victory depending on which side you're on. So it may be the case that one side wants to invade, occupy and destroy a country and take away its government and put a new regime in place. And that's its victory condition. From the perspective of the other side, all it has to do is resist and not allow that to happen. So all it has to do is survive, basically. And that's its victory condition. There's nothing new about this. But it's kind of similar here, really. I mean, a victory for the dystonia would be for me to just completely give up. And, you know, air quotes, completely give up, you know. The S word, I don't want to use it too much because I think the YouTube algorithm doesn't particularly like it. And that can't be an option, even when I'm at the lowest. So, the dystonia's goal is to completely destroy me. My victory is defined as me simply not allowing that to happen. So, there are going to be battles. Every day is a battle. Every day with dystonia is a battle. And I know people who've had much worse dystonia than this, and this is bad enough, trust me. It's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. And it's depressing as well. But every day I have to get up, I have to fight back, and I have to have a productive day, which means I have to do things that serve me in a positive way. So I have to work and receive positive feedback from my employer, which usually happens. I have to have interests outside of work, so I can't just plonk myself in front of the TV or sit there staring at the walls. So I have hobbies. I play my guitar badly, but I play it. I have intellectual pursuits. I'm studying Russian. Well, I don't know. I had to choose the hardest bleeding language in the world, didn't I? But it is actually good fun learning a language. I highly recommend you try it. You don't have to go in for anything really heavy. You can just try French and German. It's good. I think it's really good for you to learn a second language. It's a real eye-opening experience. You get an insight into the culture of a different nation and see subtleties and nuance that you weren't aware of before. So I highly recommend you do that. Physical exercise is key. Structured physical exercise, I mean. So forget the 10,000 steps. That's just a random number some doctor plucked out of his arse, and it's just become common knowledge or accepted wisdom that you must do 10,000 steps. Trust me, I don't do 10,000 steps a day. And I don't need to do 10,000 steps to stay fit. And I'm fit. You know, I'm struggling today with my dystonia. You can tell in my voice, my neck is twisted, my vocal cords are tight. But I can throw out those press-ups and pull-ups, and I've got good blood oxygen levels. My cardio is good. My resting heart rate is about 52 beats a minute, which is low. Very low and very good for someone of my age. So, physically fit. I have a social network. I don't see them that often because going out tends to be a bit exhausting. It needs to be an event. I need to go for something specific, or occasionally catch up with some friends over lunch. Lunch is good because it's an hour. You know, you go to wherever you're going to meet. So if it's my friends who live in London, it's usually London Bridge. And we'll go and get a burger. And we'll sit and chat for about an hour and a half. And that's about as much as I like to take. Because then it's time for me to start going back. The fatigue, and it gets me down. None of this is negative. I'm just being realistic about what I can and can't do and where my limitations are. And I do work to improve on that all the time. You just see me at a time where it just the dystonia won for a few days. Fuck you, dystonia. This will happen. I was trying to think of a theme for this video. I usually have something roughly sketched together in my head. And then as it happens, it does kind of correlate with what I'm discussing now. I was going to talk about the distinction between acceptance and resignation. Acceptance to me means that how do I put this? Acceptance to me means that you accept that you are in a fight. Resignation means also that you are in a fight, but there's nothing you can do about it. So I accept that I am in a battle with my neurological movement disorder, and I will fight back. I do fight back constantly, as I've just said. Resignation is a little bit too close to passivity and surrender. Resignation to me speaks of lying on the couch every day doing nothing, never doing anything productive ever again, of abandoning your hobbies, of not being seen by your friends, of descending into a pit of despair. And you can't allow yourself to do that. Yes, you will have the occasional setback. I wish I could tell you that since this started, I've fought back bravely every day. It's like sometimes you're just not there. You can't do it. Sometimes all you can do is lie down and just pine for your past. I really miss my pre-dystonia days so much. I really miss it. It's been years now, so the thought that I used to just pop downstairs to the shop or get on a bus without a care in the world. It's like an alien concept to me now, because whenever I do anything like that, I mean, I'll do it, but I just think, oh, it's going to be hard work. And moving around and being mobile becomes like a tactical thing. It's like, do I need to go there right now? Can it wait? This thing I'm going to go out and buy, can I get it delivered instead? Is it worth the trip? Etc. etc. So it's a bit of a paradox. I know I'm always preaching about the importance of being active, getting up and going and fighting back, but you do have times where you're just unhappy and you miss your past and you miss your youth and you miss your health. So apologies for remodeling, but what else do you do? I'm not perfect. I'm a long, long way from perfect. We all are. I'm a deeply imperfect, flawed human being who's been tasked with battling this condition for as long as I'll have to battle it. I hope it goes into remission. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It hasn't got any worse, I'm pleased to say. And my treatment's improving slowly. You have to tweak it very, very slowly. You can't make rapid increments in Botox injections because it could unalive you pretty easily. It's powerful stuff. On the subject of treatments, I've started having regular Bowen therapy, which I've mentioned in the past. It seems to have seems to relate strongly to use of the fascia, which is an intriguing organ, which I'd recommend you read about. It basically is like a web-like structure, packed with all sorts of different kinds of neurons and mast cells and sensory features, shall we say. And it travels entirely through the entirety of your body. It wraps around your muscles, nerve endings, organs. It's like this protective web, but it's also an extremely powerful receiver of sensory input, which it then passes on to the brain. It's like a feedback mechanism, constantly telling the brain what state the body's in. So the theory is that Bowen therapy could be good for dystonia. I've had a few. I do always come out feeling better. I mean, obviously you feel better in that moment. You've just been left on the table, lying down with somebody rubbing your shoulders. I mean, it's a massage. But I've usually felt better a few days afterwards as well. But like I said, this is a war, and there will be the occasional battle, and there will be the occasional loss, or tactical withdrawal if you want to start getting a bit carried away with the militaristic terms. Why the hell not? So yeah, so was there a point to this video? Yeah, the point of the video is that you can be as brave as you want and you can be as prepared as you want and determined, but you'll fall from time to time. And it's important to learn from it and not to ruminate too much on it and not to tear yourself to pieces over it, but to, I suppose, forgive yourself. In recent years, I've had experiences with people who have substance abuse problems, that being alcoholism, drug abuse, etc., etc. And I've learned quite a lot from these people. There's a lot of wisdom these people hold. And I've gained a little bit more empathy through talking to them. Not that I thought beforehand that they were monsters or not non-human or something, but just remember one guy in particular looking a bit crestfallen one day when I crossed his path, and he's a friend of mine. And I asked him what was going on, and he confessed that he'd broken his abstinence, and he'd gone out with some friends, and made the mistake of having one drink, which turned into 10 drinks, something like that. And he was feeling pretty beaten up about it psychologically. And it was sad seeing that, because this guy's strong. He's strong-willed, and he's smart, and he's charming, and he's a good guy. I like him. And it's sad when you see someone like that. And it made me realise, it further expanded my realisation that addiction is not a simple problem to deal with. And psychological or psychiatric conditions are very complicated. And I think addiction must have a psychiatric component. But coming back to the empathy, the embarrassment that he felt, I could just feel it radiating off him. And I was gratified that he trusted me enough to confide in me about this. And I hope I said the right things. I said, well, you are going to fall from time to time. And the worst thing you can do is beat yourself to pieces over it. Forgive yourself. Get back to your meetings. Make a new start. As long as you're doing that, the occasional stumble is going to be okay. And I think that's me the last few days. I get periods where I'm kind of down about everything. And that affects the dystonia, that affects my symptoms, and as I said, you get the vicious circle and so on and so forth. And I need to get better at forgiving myself. I'm okay at it. When I'm lying under my blanket, just maybe watching a video or something and reading a book. But I think I need to be a little bit more forgiving. I think the more you do that, the less likely it is to impact you. And the sooner you're going to be back on your feet fighting back. Because remember, it's just a battle. And the outcome of a battle does not define the outcome of a war. Just to go all historical on you. A bit like my dad. Bless him. In World War II, when Singapore fell to the Japanese, it was a catastrophic defeat for the British. And I think psychologically, it must have just been almost impossible for them to swallow, to digest. Because Singapore was the jewel in the crown for the British Empire at that point. And it was meant to be indomitable, couldn't be taken. They had these huge naval guns pointing out to sea, so no ship that came near had a chance. It never occurred to them that the Japanese would simply come in through the back, through the jungles. They thought the jungle was not a place where you fought boys. But the Japanese realised it was perfectly fine to fight a war in the jungle. So they slipped quietly in through the cracks of the jungle paths on bicycles. And they took the jewel in the crown of the greatest empire in the world at that time. Maybe in history. So at that point, with the Axis powers also dominating in Europe as well, it would have been very easy at that point, not being able to see into the future. It would have been very easy to think that it was all done and dusted. The British were finished. The Americans didn't care. Europe was owned by Germany, etc., etc., etc. But of course, that's not what turned out. That's not how it transpired. So one battle is not a war. And this weekend was a battle, and I kind of failed it. But I came out the other side unscathed, ready to fight again. And it starts here. It starts with this video. I didn't want to make this video. I was feeling too tired and too sore. Unprepared, as you can tell. Because I haven't really got much to talk about. But yeah, I've done it. Making the videos started my little pushback, my counterattack. And the dystonia has a bigger job to do than I do. The dystonia has to destroy me to win. All I have to do is survive as best as I can on my terms. So I hope there's something in there for you. I hope you've learned something from this video. I don't usually ask for this, but comments and thoughts are welcome because it stimulates discussion. It also helps the video spread a little bit, and like I said, I'm not interested in becoming a content creator or an influencer or any of that stupidity. I'm making these videos because I want to help people by showing them what a person with a disability looks like when they're in their rawest form, when they're not made up, when they're not fully medicated, when they're not on form, when they're in shit state. Sometimes not necessarily, but this is what I am. This is the real deal. And I want to demonstrate that you can still have a life, you can still laugh, you can still have interests, you need to have interests, and your life can still have purpose and meaning. I found purpose and meaning in making these videos in the hope that it will help someone. It might help stop someone from making a very dangerous decision which could have a ripple effect on their family and their wider community. And again, we know what I'm talking about, and it happens far too often. There's a mental health epidemic throughout this country and it's not being addressed properly. Not enough people are talking about it at all, not even close. It's still talked about in hushed tones, as if it's something to be ashamed of, as if we were back in the 1950s. But being mentally unwell, it's no different from having the flu or a broken leg. There are symptoms. The symptoms need to be managed. Treatment is required. But nobody I know was ever too ashamed to admit they had flu or broke their leg. Well, I don't know. There's been a few people who've been too embarrassed because they did something really stupid, but I broke my back falling off a building once, and I still feel silly for that. But I might tell you that story one day, actually. I might stick it in next week's videos, how I broke my back, because it is quite funny. Yeah, alright, so where are we? A loss in battle is not the loss of a war. You can still find purpose in your life. It's okay to be miserable from time to time. When you fall, it's okay. Take a breath. You'll get back on your feet again. You are surrounded by more people who care and more kindness than you realise. I was discussing that with my born practitioner the other day. In the 4 years that I've had this condition, I've had one single incident of unkindness by somebody who didn't. I don't think he realised he was being unkind. He just looked. I think he was just busy and wasn't paying attention to who he was talking to. Not like I don't mean like do you know who I am? I mean he didn't realise he was talking to somebody who had a genuine problem and he was kind of wrapped up in his own little world. Still look forward to the day I cross his path again though. It's going to be words. Alright. I'm just repeating myself now, so I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for watching. If this meant anything to you, if it resonated with you in any way, shape or form, please do share it with people. I don't know what you're going to tell them. I found a video made by a lunatic. Thought you might like to watch it. Thought it might mean something to you. But yeah, please do share. There is a link to buy me a coffee in the description if you feel it was worth a couple of quid. But like I said, I'm not trying to make a fortune out of this. It might buy me a nicer microphone or something, that sort of stuff. And yeah, so donations welcome, but not necessarily. Sharing far more important. Use the comment section. Let's start some conversations going. I think that's a healthy thing to do. Not just well done, John, but talk about what we talk about. Yeah. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Wish you a good night or good morning, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next week. I'll try and get next week's video out on Sunday, as per form. And then, yeah. All right. Okay. Stop talking, John. You can be quiet now. They're getting bored. So, last thing I always like to say before the end of the video is no matter how shitty things seem, these are the good days. Remember that. Say it to yourself. Thank you and goodbye.